Lego Ninjago is one of the best cartoon series ever made. It had heart, pain, twist, family, lessons, and was all around a fun and compelling watch, with each character bringing something to the table. I have to say, being a kid waiting for the next episode to come on Cartoon Network were prime years. People used to pick a favorite ninja and die with that choice. Even then, arguments were started when the Green Ninja was still just a mystery, and a huge portion of the fandom really believed it was going to be Kai. But in my humble opinion, I think the OG Designs version of Ninjago had more compassion, with better intros like Season 5's Ghost Whip and Season 4's Tournament Whip. Both had any kid ready and pumped for whatever is about to happen. The stories felt like they had more stakes, and every idea seemed new and unvisited. And honestly, I might be nostalgia blind, but when it comes down to it, their old designs will always grab my attention before the new versions. In this video, I'm going to cover each main ninja of the series, their character arc, impact, and struggles, combining all past series so you don't have to go out and search for them. Kai was arguably the best character in Lego Ninjago, and it's honestly sad all the times he was pushed aside for plot. Even as an adult watching again, I still got pump faked in season 1 thinking he was going to be the main character. The thing about his character is he was indeed hot-headed, and it did / has played along with his element being fire. The only thing that matches this though is that he cares the most. Fast forward to season 5, everyone ran away and gave up on convincing a moral possessed Lloyd. Well, everyone except Kai, of course, who fought him one-on-one, obviously being outmatched here. In this fight, we also see how similar him and Mora are. Both were essentially trained and in spot to be the Green Ninja, but one found out he wasn't going to be, then became a villain, while the other one found out he wasn't going to be and became the Green Ninja's protector. Kai legit threw his life on the line for his friend / brother, and if that ain't locked in, I don't know what is. Kai in season 1 did a lot of growing up, from childish, overconfident, even rude to an extent, to this older brother figure who even tries his best to protect everyone. He's even put in a weird place because he has actual family on the team, with that being Mia. This all the more puts him in a dangerous spot to lose the ones he loves. Where I feel like this journey begins is not quite while he is training to be the Green Ninja, but him realizing Lloyd is and always was gonna be the Green Ninja. Kai didn't even accept him at first, let alone believe in him or trust him. And high key for good reason though, let's not act like Lloyd wasn't a villain at first, but obviously this paired with him being hard-headed, and in turn set him back. He was the last ninja to unlock his true potential, and by the way, why did Ninjago never use this again? The way he was shining was sick. This was only unlocked by letting go of everything he wanted and accepting everything that is, and in turn he made a vow, a promise, a change. Instead of wanting to be the Green Ninja, he chose to protect the Green Ninja. Here we see a huge difference in understanding, and this goes even further all the way to season 3. The person he is understanding and protecting does change here though, with that being Zane. The reveal of Zane being a robot was actually in the same plot twist in season 1. Whole time I thought Cartoon Network was going to give autism awareness, but the robot reveal was better. Kai doesn't even judge him for being a robot, even still treats him as human as ever, laughing, joking, training, and all around spending time together. And this really strengthens their bond as well, all the way until Zane's unfortunate sacrifice. Even then, Kai is heartbroken after eventually even quitting being one of the ninjas. Getting to season 4, I feel like this is a really good season for Kai. There are so many points to tackle, so let's start with his love interest, Skylar. Skylar was in all the sense a perfect match to Kai, an independent beauty for an independent man. When he fell hard, even though he temporarily lost trust, realizing she has Zane's powers and knew where he was and who he was. But even then, she has the suit of an orange ninja, matching Kai's spectrum of red. She matches him a bit on temper, but also has that calmness in the storm to help him. In all the sense, even personality wise, this was a big win for him, and they should have been made official. But next, I want to move on to his drive. That Kai versus Carlo fight fed generations. I mean, they were genuinely boxing. Even then in this season, we see him step up as the leader for the remaining ninjas, helping them in the skate race, helping shape all the elementals, and even gain people to join their side. Finally, within this season, Kai just seems older, early 20s if anything, which is definitely an up from his original teen attitude. Here is where I believe his character starts becoming this older but childish figure instead of this immature protector. Now, we've already talked about 5 a bit, and what I can add on to it again is Kai's strong drive to protect and save Lloyd with everything he can. He is ready to sacrifice, he is ready to spend all night and day, he is ready to do anything. Even then, along with the other ninja, he learns air jitsu, which gotta be one of the most overpowered abilities for the ninja in the show. But finally, Kai's growth, character, and persona in season 7 that hands time deserves praise. This man did whatever to not only protect the ninja, not only his sister and parents, not even just his sensei, but the fate of all the elemental masters and the fate of time itself, saving just about everyone with his sister, the water ninja Nia. He seemed like a figure as mature as his father. Kai was able to do detective work, fight, learn, lead, and execute. And even then, full circle saved his sensei from being erased from existence, as Wu saved him from a life of sadness and despair. Kai becomes a disciple who can work without his master. I just loved about everything of Kai's old design, attitude, and character development, with his second season 1 suit and season 5 suit being my top favorites. His hair being an all-top design for me, and his continuous attitude and growth keeping him interesting. Jay might have not been the strongest, the smartest, or even the most dedicated ninja, but he meant more to the team than anything. And to be fair, they couldn't have done almost anything without him. Jay is what I would like to call the heart of the team. Not the soul, but literally just the heart. His mere presence lightened up the mood, and he never even felt displaced because of it. He keeps everyone happy and joke ready, and even when they get annoyed with him, they still are positive. Jay's even the first one out of everyone to find and fall for love with with that being Nia. He cares for her, does whatever he can to protect her, even though he fails 65% of the time, and about 90% of the time she doesn't even need it. But I digress, he's gentle with her and effortlessly makes her smile and laugh. Plus, on top of everything, she is the one thing he never gave up on. Starting with season 1, Jay was hilarious in my opinion, but I feel like that was his point of character, the comedian, the one to lift your spirits in times of disaster. Jay is canonically trained in the most difficult weapon being nunchucks, and he has a pretty OP power. Avatar ruined my perception of heat, knowing lightning is stronger and a more lethal form of firebending. Jay's lightning is controllable to automatically turn on anything electrical around him, switch the displays of billboards, hot wire, and all the other electric vehicles. She even has the ability to fly with it. One of the reasons I love Jay though is because even though we know as the viewers how dangerous his powers are, and keep in mind lightning moves at around 270,000 miles per hour, so he can have attack speed as well, Jay is instead lighthearted. This becomes a contrast to characters like Kai, who doesn't mind and actually loves to use his powers to an extent. And when he locks in, he locks in. When he unlocked his true potential saving Nia, that was such an honorable moment. Then Ninjago low-key just nuked that with the love triangle between them and Cole in season 3 and the whole disaster ordeal in season 6. But I couldn't have made a better transition to another season, so I'm so grateful for that setup. Jay in season 3 low-key had the writers against him. He already won over Nia, already been on a date with her at this point in time, literally unlocked his true potential for her, and sometimes be one more worried than Kai her own brother, and two tries to save her sometimes before Kai her own brother. And these writers had the audacity to make her all of a sudden start liking Cole. Not even just that though, the Nia, the one that's a tech whiz, and was literally Samurai X, listened to computers putting her together with Cole. While this whole show is literally about following your own destiny. Like, that is genuinely insane to me. Then the season wants you to look at Jay like the bad guy when Cole, his supposed brother, was overly going for his girl that he knew, saw, and even cheered for when he first went on a date with Nia. Like, that's so out of character. Season 6 was for sure a Jay season though, and honestly that's the reason why everything ended so badly. And knowing Jay, he had to make that wish. Dare I say, this season was super revealing in such a passive aggressive but understanding way. Jay should never be in charge, it's not in his blood. He is such a strong supporting character and a team member. Like, Jay will hold it down, and he's even underrated when it comes to how much he cares. He may be childish, but he is ready to sacrifice himself as well for everyone, as we saw in season 2 finale. But this is why season 6 doesn't work with Jay as the main caster and usual leader of the team. For the season, everyone is misplaced and lost, including the so-called leader. He is also crazy about Nia, so this will obviously cloud his judgment as well. Even then, he literally fed into the whole 3 wishes thing, which is something a leader would and should not do. I know it seems bad showing how immature Jay is when it comes to being in charge, but when you look at it from a glass half full perspective, you see a blessing, an eye-opener, and an actual character direction. Something I also have to bring up is Jay's suits. Oh my gosh, I usually don't miss. His season 1 suit, 2 suits, other half of 4 suit, definitely a season 5 suit, and honestly just about the rest of the seasons all gave him style. At a certain point in childhood, Jay was even my favorite ninja, and no matter how dark Ninjago got, if I saw Jay, I knew it'd be okay. Cole has got to be the greatest ninja of the original 4 with an argument against Kai. For a character that got so little story building, flashbacks, and situations, he seemed the most down to earth out of all of them, pun intended. Cole is stacked on the ability side. This man is a tank with or without powers. Cole has the elemental power of earth, but super strength with it. Not only that, he can combine the two, sending shockwaves through the ground with punches. His personality is so interesting as well. He is calm and collected, a protector first, everything second. The only thing is, unlike most of the other ninjas set aside Zane, Cole doesn't even ask for recognition like that. He doesn't showboat for thank yous or ride the wave for followers. This man generally just loves helping people and winning hard places. Instead of running to a fight club or a stage show, he ran to be with nature, to be left alone and work. I think starting with season 1 would be the best direction with Cole. Cole took me by surprise when I first saw him. The only one out of all the ninjas who could sneak around majority of the time. Now we know we've seen Zane be stealthy in a snowy forest and Lloyd in a forest, but that's not majority of the time. I was also a kid who loved the character in Black, Batman at the time, and even Spider-Man being overtaken by Venom. Cole in season 1 was all in the sense a brother. He cared for each ninja, and in an all-out competition was the one to beat everyone in the beginning. Even then, in balls to the wall situations, he's extremely useful, sometimes even coming in clutch like when Zane's suit was pink because of Lloyd. He was able to get them up that mountain pretty fast and with ease, by the way. We all see he's extremely useful and gets anything heavy out of their way, literally and figuratively. Shall also even mention he was the first one to sacrifice himself after being hit in the final battle. Cole in season 3 genuinely had a character assassination though. Like, I don't know what was going on. This understanding character, this dude who is all brotherhood first. Like, I don't even remember him looking at girls. Overly goes / accepts Nia. This is just wild. Cole literally watched Jay fall in love with her and even take her on a date. Cole even sees Jay talk about her all the time, so the writers thought it was a good idea to do this. These were not them in all honesty. I think season 3 is the worst season. Horrible suits in my opinion. Weapons weren't all that neat, and the only good things to come out of it were the ninja getting their powers back and Pixel. Yes, not even Zane's death was good to me, and I will explain it in my next video on Zane. So if you think you'd be interested, subscribe with post notifications on. Cole genuinely would not do this. To put himself in a position where he could be against Jay or even Nia is insane, and getting on the wrong side with Nia will affect your relationship with Kai. This gets even worse considering the down-to-earth character who generally just lets stuff pass by held this grudge with Jay and chose not to let it go. I can admit season 4 fixed this issue though, but still doubled down on it in the beginning. Now keep in mind, after Zane's death, the down-to-earth character character just lost his friend and he still keeps this grudge against Jay. He just lost Zane and thought, hey, let me keep this grudge with Jay so I can lose another friend. Like, that is genuinely not cool. Later in the season though, he and Jay battles it out and he does suddenly win, or I guess overcomes him, but then apologizes and even admits he was wrong, then lets Jay win the battle. This is the Cole I remember, one who puts his brothers before him. And funny enough, in the next season we actually get a huge development with Cole. He turns into a freaking ghost after once again sacrificing himself for the ninja to get out quickly. Like, it's genuinely always Cole. But with this, it's actually a really OP development for Cole. Once he gets it under control, on top of his higher strength and earth control, he can now phase through solid objects, float, and even possess others with only one true weakness, which is water. But in the development, we also see how broken Cole is, how sad this situation is. He has to learn to live with this, to learn how to grab things again, learn how to be so irregular, and this genuinely breaks him. And he masks it with a smile. I'm actually so proud of Ninjago because they even keep this for a while. They keep this for the rest of 5, 6, and they end it with the Day of the Parted hour-long special. In this, Cole sacrifices himself again. Like, dude, let somebody else throw their life on the line for once. But he does get his mortal body back. And this was big for me. I was so happy for him. I miss seeing his figure like this. Truly, once again, looking like one of the ninjas. Zane by far was such a complex character, but unfortunately, emphasis on the was. I feel like what's best for Zane is going season for season since he has so much that goes on. In season 1, Zane was known as the weirdo. His sense of humor wasn't all the way there. He randomly was zoned out and didn't really abide by everyone's customs. Even then, he has the most random stuff happen to him, like Lloyd accidentally turning his suits pink. But through all, this season fleshed him out as a fun, wacky, and serious character, always uplifting his brothers. And another great thing about Zane in season 1 is his seed being planted with the Falcon. I was out here thinking he had a special ability to talk to animals in nature, which is why he seemed weird around humans. But in season 2, oh my gosh, Zane had a huge development, finally being revealed a robot, or also known as an android. The sad thing about this though is at the time it is presumed his father is dead, and revealed he even had a father who cared for him, loved him, treated him like a son, and even built him to protect those who can't protect themselves. It also revealed that Zane is actually around 40. He just didn't remember all those years because his dad flipped his memory switch. Even then, we finally see the reason why he didn't have a sense of humor, and that's because his switch was flipped as well. And we get the first version of his iconic dance. Right after this though, Zane even unlocks his true potential, being able to freeze everything around him. Plus, he was the first ninja to unlock it in general. Plus, this even explains why he's the smartest ninja. Whole time, Zane is literally artificial. Zane is even incredibly trained, being able to master shurikens. Moving to season 3 though, Zane was the first of the original 4 to get his own season. Sucks that it's the worst one though, in my opinion. His love interest Pixel is introduced, and she is actually a really good character. At first, she's pretty square and for good reason, being a robot, but Zane eventually gets through her exterior and even saves her, giving half of himself. Not only that, but in this season, he's even put to a harder test than the others, fighting these newer, more impressive versions of essentially himself, even being often referenced as an outdated piece of metal. These ninjoroids were fierce, smart, and able to adapt as quickly as possible. Plus, if need to be, they were relentless and brutal. In this season, Zane was also the first to unlock his golden ninja mode against the Overlord inside the technological world. Here in this season, we also see him relish more about being a robot, which is weird because before the reveal, he seemed human. Processors weren't messing up, he wasn't electrically glitching all the time, or even lagging, but all of a sudden now everything is wrong with him. This isn't all bad though, because at least he loves who he truly is and plays into it well. Now, very unpopular opinion, Zane's death was the worst character assassination ever. The actual sacrifice meant so much and was such a powerful moment, but if anything, it should have stuck with us for a moment. But even though it didn't, hear what my issue was with the whole ordeal. Moving to season 4, Zane is not even himself anymore. And I get it, growth and rebirth, titanium ninja, all of that, but the thing that sucks is he loses all previous characterization. He doesn't talk the same, act the same, doesn't handle issues the way he used to, somehow is dumber than his original cool, calculated self, and worst of all, he is all I'm a robot now. Missiles, saw, schematics, holograms, like these are all really cool, and I did love it as a child, but as I've gotten older, you just basically created a new character. He doesn't even want to be called the White Ninja anymore, and somehow he is more childish now as a full-on robot. Like, I just don't get it. How this could occur makes no sense. Plus, how did he survive? How did he get to Chin's Island? How did they fix him? Did he even need fixing? Like, so many questions just get skipped over and ignored with, hey, Zane's back. And why does he never look over his death or his impact or even his statue? Like, so much could have been done here and was genuinely just wasted. But other than that, Zane really ends with the characterization there in the original series before redesigns. He is a highly supportive and needed member of the team, keeping them together and ready to lead for a moment if needed. Lloyd Garmadon might be one of the best characters in fiction, one of the best character arcs and developments, and even power set and story. When it comes to Lloyd, you can genuinely love every version, especially how much he grows each season. So since he has so much happen like we did with Zane, we're gonna go season to season for Lloyd's development. Season 1 started with Lloyd as the joke villain of the series, literally just a young child. His dad is Lord Garmadon, biggest, baddest villain known to Ninjago at this time, and in prophecy, the 4 original ninjas are supposed to help the Grand Ninja defeat him. Not only that, but Lloyd's mom even abandons him, so he is left all alone trying to fill the shoes of his father. He starts off small, stealing candy, but then goes big and technically accidentally freeing the Serpentine. This starts the first big villains of the original series, other than the final boss obviously being Garmadon. Lloyd leads them for a while before getting betrayed and kicked out, even almost killed. He then frees frees another serpentine tribe, and so on and so forth, makes the situation worse and worse. Lloyd established that he's indeed trying to be evil rather than actually being maniacal, and his path is interrupted by the ninja and Sensei Wu. Lloyd is Wu's nephew. After basically a good talking to and defeat, he switches sides and joins the ninjas in their journey. And this is big. I would like to say this is where his characterization starts, because essentially here is where his story really progresses. It takes him some time to get used to the ninja and settle down. He's loud, clumsy, and never really had a family, and in basic terms, Lloyd is pretty displaced. At the end of the season though, here we find out Kai unlocking his true potential, that Lloyd is the Green Ninja, and at this point everyone is shocked, even the viewers. We were all thinking it was going to be one of the four, even Wu thought it was going to be Zane. In season 2, even being older, I have to admit, seeing this little kid in the suit was crazy. But his training has started and we see he has everyone's abilities, even Cole's strength. And considering again he is just a little kid, it makes it all the more dangerous. All this power and none of the maturity. Until one of my favorite episodes, in it all of the ninja are turned into children the same age as Lloyd. This is done by Garmadon with the Staff of Creation, resurrecting a beast by removing the years of age on it, and since the ninja were there, it did the same to them. In this we get a peek into Lloyd's life, how being this young no one listens to you, or even worse, doesn't respect you. But at the end of this episode, Lloyd makes a huge sacrifice, taking away his childhood, saving everyone at age and ninjas up again. So he is now around the age of 14 to 20, but still a child mentally. In the next episode, when they're training, he's genuinely not trying and literally not even into it, but still overwhelms all the ninja except Kai, who has a weapon. Lloyd didn't even have one. And for the remainder of the season, we see Lloyd fit into this prophecy in his destiny, learning how to control his abilities, absorbing all the ninja's powers, finding the first Ninjutsu master's mech, and even unlocking the Golden Ninja, power of light. All of his power is boosted, and he is now the strongest elemental master. And when I first saw this, I was geeked. I loved the design and the way he glowed, even his dragon, and the fact the season concluded like that was insane. Lloyd even got his father back, mother too, even though she's a deadbeat. Like, this man genuinely has an actual family now. Even then, he was very prepared to sacrifice his life for all the Ninjago, and the end even led to that. Lloyd, from this arrogant lost child, becomes Ninjago's savior and the strongest warrior in existence, even overpowering the Overlord, who's the strongest evil entity at the time. Now in season 3, he gives us up. For some time now, we see as the ninja became teachers, Lloyd became a hero operating as a savior for months on end. In this season, the Overlord wasn't truly destroyed, but buried within the city's electricity as a virus. To keep everyone safe, he gives up his golden power to give the other ninja their abilities back, in turn making him the Green Ninja. Again, here we see he has actually matured and became the hero he was meant to be, actually matching all the ninja and even being a bit stronger in all categories now as well, including strategy and stamina. Moving to season 4, Lloyd is this sort of leader now, getting the ninja back together and keeping the team from falling apart, even giving them advice and support. We see in this season, even though he still struggles, he has a kind heart. Lloyd even convinced the elemental masters to help him in the tournament, and even lead all the elemental masters in battle. In this battle, he stars in one of my favorite scenes, which is him having flashbacks of his father while fighting the Anaconda. He legit just feels like a powerhouse in the scene, creating this powerful moment of growth and letting go, and thus officially losing his father forever. This same scene causes more issues for Lloyd, considering an old pupil of Master Wu named Moro came out looking for revenge and becoming the Green Ninja. And that leads straight to season 5, where Lloyd is stuck being possessed for most of the season, fighting Moro mentally, and this obviously hits the team hard because not only do they lose their powers, but they do not have their leader. In the final battle, we even still see why he's leader, giving the ninjas an actual plan. This is where Lloyd locks in even more, because before this, he fights Moro one-on-one, technically winning, then getting taken by the Preeminent. This places him in the cursed realm where his father is stuck at for the rest of eternity. Here we see him chained and alone, and Lloyd being saddened by the way his father is being treated, but also glad he gets to even see him again. Obviously, Garmadon can't go with him, considering 1, he can't get out of the chains, 2, he's there to make amends for the pain he caused, and 3, Lloyd can't carry him around. So Lloyd has to leave his father again. Now returning, he's wearing his father's garments and has a newfound sense of confidence, actually planning and leading the ninjas to victory. In season 6, we don't really get a lot from Lloyd except him being the definite leader of the team. He is now wise, powerful, and calculated, genuinely making him a dangerous enemy. Even this is really Jay's season. Lloyd actually had the great idea to make himself as wise as Sensei Wu, literally carrying the rest of the season for Jay, giving Jay the advice he needed, reminding the team of Ninjago being in danger, and even knowing what was coming next. It's even crazier when you realize he was wiser than the Wu at the end, and even at his old spry age, he was still moving dangerous as the Green Ninja. And throughout this season, we even see him adapt pretty quickly to each team member being lost, leading with new strategies and different plans. Here we see how good he is under pressure and how no matter what, he would try to keep the team together. And even setting the plan of not letting any ninja be alone, make sure no one was picked off one by one, and again, which obviously has failed, but still really smart on Lloyd's part. In season 7, Lloyd is officially ranked up, but faster than he was supposed to. With Sensei Wu being heavily injured and benched, Lloyd is now a master, or I guess master in training, still being a great leader, but now come off as a little too serious and struggling with this new promotion, often going to his mom for advice. Lloyd is split now between protecting Wu or protecting the city with his team. Ultimately, he does eventually come out of this stronger though, because Wu was taken by Crux and Necrotics. But in this, he is stronger, diverting a plan so well, it actually almost works if the villains weren't so good. And in this, even though Kai and Nia technically saved the day, then Sensei Wu saving them, Lloyd is still to celebrate for even coming up with all of this. And at the end of this, we see all the ninja finally accept him as Master Lloyd. Now, I don't really talk about the ninja past redesigns, but here I just want to mention how well Lloyd's redesign actually fits him. And by far the best design out of everyone's, even the green eyes fitting him and making him look stronger. He looks older, sounds older, and even acts and grew older. This version of Lloyd needs a golden ninja design. And honestly, maybe even an anime with the rest of the ninja. Through all of Lloyd's suits, stories, and direction, he has been by far the top character of Ninjago, being cemented as one of the top cartoon characters in all of fiction. The idea of Lloyd, the execution, and the prosperity of their prodigy all succeeded well. Nia's character arc exceeded in execution. She went from the defenseless sister of one of the ninjas to the infamous Samurai X to the then talented Nia finalizing herself as the water ninja. Nia is smart, calm, calculated, talented, trained, and has everything going for her. And honestly, within Ninjago, other than Lloyd, she also has the biggest character arc. So let's deep dive into Nia and her characterization. Season 1, Nia is introduced as Kai's sister, who the ninja saved in the pilot episodes actually. She helps the ninja and stands on Master Wu's side. A few episodes later, we see a new warrior, better than all four of the ninja, and their name is Samurai X. Samurai X continued to outshine them and keep Ninjago safe, including the ninjas, until the Serpentine took Lloyd and pitted the ninja versus the samurai. The ninja win barely and only using their strongest ability at the time, which was the Tornado of Creation. And here, Samurai X says to them, good job for selling the fight, admitting they weren't even trying while the ninjas were. Then in old fashion, Samurai X saves the ninja with their suit and escapes the Serpentine all by themselves. One problem does arise though, which is the suit crashing and Samurai X getting angry, removing their masks and revealing that they are actually Nia. This means this whole time Nia is just as trained as Ninja, smarter than Ninja, more calculated than Ninja, and if anything points for Nia. Anyway, here Kai chooses to keep it secret, and a little later on so does Jay, until eventually Nia just tells everyone. And for the remainder of this season and season 2, she continues on as the warrior, breaking standards and being a huge help to the team. And in my opinion, along with the other 5 ninjas, she's what made the team feel complete. Also in this season, Nia falls in love with Jay, the blue ninja, and even then Jay unlocked his true potential for her, showing how much he cares. And before that, she even kisses him, curing him of his snake bite, establishing that they do want this relationship. And all of this happens during the date that they are on. And throughout the rest of the season, this is actually fleshed out pretty well. But boy, in season 3, she had a character assassination. Nia, who's already established as an intelligent, destiny-defying character, believed what Artificial Intelligence told her who her man would be, with that being Cole. To be completely honest, I think the writer just wanted to cause tension, betrayal, and make a love triangle. Like, the writing room had to have some shippers. And even then, believing it was one thing, but then Nia overly starts going for Cole, eye-ogling him, talking about how much of an amazing man he is, and even envisioning their future together. Nia even has the audacity to accept Cole and Jay on a date at the same time. Then Musaku's whole self gonna come around to Nia talking about some, I know that look, 2 boys, 1 heart. Like, ma'am, you are a hoe. Don't even get me started on Nia's actions. No drive to get the Samurai X suit, no bright ideas like she usually has. Like, I think the writers forgot who Nia was. Generally her weakest season. Like, this was not her character, but at least for the remainder of the season, in season 4, we see her take a step back from the limelight, even improving her fighting skills, spy ability, and action under pressure. But this is low-key mainly just season 4. In season 5, Nia does have a pretty huge development though, finding out she's the elemental master of water, separately training and becoming the water ninja. Here she finds her true strength, even helping the ninja without tech or a big exosuit, but her skills, and her inner found power. With an amazing plan by Lloyd, Nia is able to sneak in, being the secret weapon against the ghost, 1 beating Moro's sidekicks easily, and 2 fighting Moro alone, and even keeping him occupied so the ninja can succeed. But at the end of this battle, when all seem lost, Nia unlocks her true potential, creating a huge tidal wave that takes out all of the ghosts and the pre-minute, all that was, showing how powerful she is and why she is a member of the team. And with this, we are fully introduced to the new water ninja. In season 6, Nia is fighting the narrative, showing that she hates what society thinks of her, just a girl ninja or one of the ninja's girlfriends, instead of Nia, the water ninja, a savior by herself. And to be fair, on paper, she has better credentials than everyone but Lloyd. Also in this season, Jay is heavily pursuing her, and she acts like she doesn't like him or wants him to stop, when whole time she is fighting her feelings in order for the respect of her identity. Through everything that goes on with Nanakon, the ninja being picked off one by one, and even just the season in general, we see her slightly care less and less until she just gives in and admits to Jay her feelings, and tells him to come back to her and save everyone, showing even more growth. She is learning to let go of whatever is bothering her, being like water, constantly changing and shifting. And the coolest part is, even after all of this, she remembers the whole situation with Nanakon, just like Jay, being the only 2 who know of the situation, and even building and making their bond stronger because of it. And because of this close bond, we even see them create the first elemental dragon fusion, with that being the lightning and water dragon. At the end of this season, Nia and Jay even seal the deal, kissing and hugging on national TV, making their relationship known and official. It's about time. Now in season 7, which is crazy, I know, Nia had a joint season with Cole in 5, joint season with Jay in 6, and now a joint season with Kai in 7. Anyway though, she is dealing with her old identity being taken, which is Samurai X. The suit was stolen, she never could figure out who took it. This drove her insane, trying to track them down and not fully letting go of her past. On top of that though, she is dealing with learning about her parents' history, finding out they were helping Crux and the Chronics. In the end, her and Kai actually tracked their parents down, but find out they were helping Crux and the Chronics against their own will, being held captive. Officially, this means that her and Kai got their family back, releasing a huge burden, sadness, and block of pain from their hearts. Here we even find out that Nia has another fusion dragon with Kai that their parents created 40 years before. But before this, Nia even lets go of the Samurai X situation, trusting whoever stole it and believing in them to protect Ninjago. Like, she has mad growth. And like I did with Lloyd, I have to admit the redesign gave her a better design as well, giving us a better hairstyle, better facial features. She generally does look older, wiser, and more dangerous. But I have to admit though, my favorite suit is still her season 5 suit, considering the coloring and the armor. So let me know how you feel about Nia and if you think she deserves more self-centered seasons. That is every main ninja of the series, with others showing up concurrently, like Dareth the Brown Ninja, Skylar the Amber Ninja, and Moro the Wind Ninja. Although 2 of those I just named are special cases. Along with Master Wu the Ninja, Ninja have had lots of storylines, power-ups, and losses throughout the years, even predating the current years and preceding the prime years. And with supposedly 15 seasons ongoing, at this point, I don't think the writers have any chance of stopping. I will say it gets annoying when the ninja get nerfed every season in the beginning of the season, or lose their powers, or lose team members, and it does eventually start getting repetitive. Not to mention all the powers, abilities, and weapons that get vaulted for no reason, like elemental dragons, air jitsu, and even the elemental blades. But through all, Ninjago is a beautiful story and creation that keeps ideas generating, and the world building. And with the new redesigns, they have reached a larger audience than they could have ever imagined, grabbing new viewers from the movie adaptation. To this day, I don't think anything has or will ever top season 4 and 5, but a lot of seasons have came pretty close. I genuinely love doing this video, and obviously I'm a huge fan of this franchise, so I want y'all to let me know what other characters you want me to talk about, like Master Wu, Ronin, or even Garmadon. And if you would like a way longer and better version of this video where I talk about Ninjago post redesign, let's try to get this video to 50 likes, since that will take a lot of time out of me. If you enjoyed, make sure to comment for the algorithm, hype for the video to be shared, and subscribe to join this amazing community and see more entertaining content just like this. I hope this was worth your time and that you have a blessed day.